What's up, everybody? Today I am doing a review of Goosebumps SlappyWorld book number 13, Monster Blood is Back. Now, this was the very final book of my 50 book challenge, and I am excited to finally have finished it so I can go back to wasting all of my money on books. I've already ordered a bunch of books online that I have on the way, more R.L. Stine books that I was missing from my collection, a couple of miscellaneous ones, and then a few of the Nightmare Room books that I was missing as well. So I almost have my Nightmare Room collection completed, so I'll be doing more of those reviews in the future as well as a ranking for that series. And yeah, today I'm going to be talking about this SlappyWorld book, Monster Blood is Back. And what better book to end a challenge on than one with this title? I thought it was very fitting, so and it's a quick, easy read. So yeah, Monster Blood is Back. This one is basically about our main character. Her name is Sasha. I don't know if it's pronounced differently. It's a different spelling than the typical Sasha. There's a C and an H in there. It's Sascha, I believe it is. So it's spelled a little bit differently than typical of that name. I think it's still pronounced Sasha, though. I could be wrong. But anyway, Sasha and her friend Nicole are into like cooking and baking and all that sort of thing. And they participate like in this contest where they have to compete against a couple of other kids and see who can make the best dish. And of course, there are judges who judge the dish, and then if they succeed, then they'll go on to this TV show where they compete for a prize called the Silver Spatula, which is worth like $2,000 or something. So this is kind of like R.L. Stine's take on like the whole, I don't know, like Master Chef TV show, I guess. Like I guess there's a lot of different like reality shows that involve like cooking and like mixing the game show element and that sort of thing. Master Chef is just the first one that came to mind, but yeah, it's sort of like that kids version of that. And yeah, it's the majority of the book is just them, the kids kind of battling it out and cooking and stuff, and there's sort of a rivalry between them and a couple of the other kids they go to school with, and they're sort of cheating these other kids. And eventually Sasha and Nicole get kicked off of the show. They don't make it because the other kids put hot sauce in their food, and yeah, the judges ended up kicking them off. And so yeah, there's really not a lot going on in here. This is pretty much the main focus of the story, is whether or not they can win this contest. And towards the beginning, they do go into a store, a toy store, and they end up buying a can of Monster Blood. But then not really a lot happens with it right away. It's just kind of put to the wayside there while we resume the main storyline of this cooking show. And then they get so fed up with their classmates that they decide to play a prank back on them, like try to get revenge by putting Monster Blood in their food. And from there, that's when things start to actually happen, and the effects of Monster Blood begin to take place. Of course, it makes everything bigger, it makes everything grow, and it also, kind of like a giant blob, it just kind of consumes everything in its path. Unfortunately, this doesn't take place until like almost the very end of the story, like the last, I don't know, 20 or 30 pages. It takes a while to get to that stuff. Like I said, the majority of this book is just focused on the main characters and the cooking show and that whole thing. Like, it's just pretty uneventful, and it wasn't terrible or like a slog to get through or anything. Like, I was mildly interested in it. It's a little bit of humor in here with the characters and their banter and just some of the different little things that go on. But yeah, it just wasn't super eventful. It felt a little bit shallow. And once we did get to the end and like the climax and everything with the Monster Blood, it just, I don't know. It wasn't really anything that exciting or impressive. It was just kind of dull. I just don't really know. I don't have a lot to say about it, honestly. The twist was kind of funny. I don't want to spoil anything. Not the very like final twist ending, but the resolution. It involves it reminded me a little bit of Monster Blood 3, where Evan like grew huge. There's several characters that it happens to in here. And some of the kids like come in to save the day. And yeah, it was just kind of funny. It was mildly entertaining, I guess. It was okay. I don't really have a whole lot to say about it, to be honest. I mean, there's really nothing about this book that really makes it stand out, in my opinion. But it like I said, it wasn't terrible. But then we do get to the actual final twist ending. And again, I'm not going to spoil anything, but I'll just say it's a twist ending R.L. Stine has done several times already. And it is just incredibly annoying and dumb. And it pretty much ruins the book, honestly. If you've read Slappy's Nightmare from Series 2000, that's pretty much the same twist ending that's in this book. And he's done it in some other books as well, other Goosebumps books. I can't think of what they are off the top of my head, but I just know he's done it in a few others at least. And yeah, and it just kind of ruins it. It was just a really dumb twist ending that doesn't need to be there. If it wasn't for that, I would say this is actually probably one of the better SlappyWorld books that I've read. And again, it's not really saying much. This SlappyWorld series as a whole, I'm not really a big fan of. I think maybe I like it slightly more than Most Wanted. Taking into account I haven't read as many as books from it yet. Most Wanted series as a whole was not very good. There's only about like 3 books from that entire series that I would actually say that I liked. And SlappyWorld so far only has one, which is It's Alive, It's Alive. And I ended up giving this book a 2 out of 5 stars. It wasn't terrible. There's definitely worse SlappyWorld books in the series, but I just didn't really care for it all that much. If I want to read a good Monster Blood book, I'll go back to the original series and read one of the first like 3 books in the series, or even the 4th one. I can just have a fun time with, even though it's not nearly as good as the others. Like, it's just really cheesy and dumb, but I can still have a good time with the 4th one. And yeah, I still have a lot more SlappyWorld books to read yet, and I'm sure I will read them eventually. But generally, I'm just not much of a fan of these newer Goosebumps books. I am biased towards the older ones, I'll admit it, but yeah, it is what it is. I don't have much else to say about Monster Blood is Back. What did you guys think of this one if you've read it? Let me know down in the comments. I don't know when I'll get to my next SlappyWorld book, or if I will anytime soon. Like I said, I have some Nightmare Room books coming on the way, so I'll probably do some reviews for those pretty soon and have a ranking out whenever I get around to finishing that series. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching and have a great day.